I think I'm live. I don't know. I think I'm live. If somebody could maybe like just send a message or some sort of acknowledgement of existence, that would be really great. Okay, I think someone is here, beautifully broken. If you can hear me and see me, and this looks like it's okay, like you can hear me and the video is right and it's not sideways, I would love to be able to see. This is my first live, so I don't actually know how to do this. You're sideways. Thank you so much. Okay. So why can I not? I wonder if I can fix that. Oh, nope, there's my living room. That's not it. Okay. I guess I'm just going to twist it around. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for helping me. This is the first time and I could really use your help. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. Thank you, beautifully broken. And yes, I can see you. Oh, thank you so much. Go team. So I guess if anyone was subscribing thinking I knew what I was doing and that this would be thank you for the heart, thinking that this would somehow be like professional and like all slick and stuff, no swears. It's not going to be that. Because I'm just learning and I'm super stoked to be live on Substack. I just started writing. I've just started to kind of put myself out there in a different way, I guess, in a new way. I've been writing a lot since the new year and actually hitting publish on a lot of that writing. So that's kind of cool. And I decided to start the podcast. And I think the catalyst to all of it is turning 50 this year. So that's happening. And I'm very excited that I've got to be here for all these many years. And I hope that I'll be here for a lot more. So, just to warm up a little bit, I think it might be nice for those that are tuning in. And I think subscribers will maybe get a copy of this. Again, I don't, oh, yay, celebration. Thank you. Beautifully broken. Um, I think that subscribers might get a copy of this sent to them. So I hope that does happen. And I hope that I can offer some value today. That's my wish and my hope is to create more connection in the world, and more connection to ourselves. And I'm going to span the hearts to bring people. Oh, so sweet. I don't know how this works. So if that brings people, please do. And how ironic, right? That hearts will bring more people. Love will bring more people, right? And that's my wish. That's my hope, to be kind of an agent, a catalyst to bring us closer to ourselves and therefore closer to each other. And at the end of the day, if I was truly to be, really frank with my wish is to reduce violence. That's my kind of goal. That's my mission in this life. And, there's things we can control and things that we can't. And I, for one, am learning how to control this system, this entire system that is Patricia. And this system was created, started in the womb. I was just having a clinical session. So I'm a clinical therapist. So I work with people every day, primarily military and private practice, helping people find ways to come home to themselves because the world, in our interaction with it from in utero to, today will all be different from this conversation is my belief. We're kind of constructing each other, and I try to really simplify things and that might not land with a lot of people because it's maybe going to sound just really simple, but that's how my brain works. I have to really just concretely set things out. So again, the reducing violence in the world, I believe, starts with ourselves. So how can we get curious about, I always talk about the three buckets, our thoughts. So what are we thinking about around ourselves and others? Um, our words, What are the words we're saying? What are the words we're not saying, too, which is maybe more important for some of us? Thoughts, words, and actions. So, what are the actions that we're taking, towards ourselves to take care of this unit, and towards other people? So, I thank you so much, Beautifully Broken. I appreciate that. I wish I knew your real name. um, so so that's sort of the framework. And today, the live, the focus is on grief. So grief, what is it? I'm not here to define it or um, you know, I'm here today to say grief is sort of a connector with all of us, like love is. And if you've lost anyone or lost something, like not just a person, because a lot of times we think about grief as the death of a person, and it's really the loss of anything that we've kind of attached to. It could be the loss of a particular role. My kids are leaving home soon, and my nest is emptying. So there's going to be so much grief, and it's already here, right? Like I've already invited it in for tea, and we've had a conversation about what that grief is, the stories it's telling me, around the loss of that identity of mother, which is just changing. It's not really losing. So, how does grief show up in our lives? How do we explore it so that we can meet it where it is? Mine sometimes shows up as anger. That's, one of those things I'm meeting more is understanding how grief can show up as anger. And a lot of times, the loss of a loved one really puts into sharp focus how much we love that person. And that's what I've learned a lot from the people that I've had an opportunity to work with over the years, is that, you know, um, the weight of the grief often is in direct relation to the weight of the love. And to live is to love. And this world can be very harsh and very heavy. And when we get hurt, some of us end up putting some armor on. And then perhaps more hurt can come. And then we can end up putting more armor on and more armor on. And thank you for sharing. Beautifully Broken. I'm just reading what you wrote there. Mhm. Heartbreaking. How do you recover from absolute, unspeakable traumas, losses, those who have gone too early, those who perhaps weren't able to get what they needed to stay here? And if we let it, those losses can birth something new and beautiful. And that's a risky thing for me to say, right? When we've lost a child or we've lost a mother, father, tragically, naturally, a lot of times in my experience is that it's brought families together. It's brought people together. It's brought people into themselves, for knowing TikTok, we're not here for long. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Nobody knows that, right? Nobody wants to talk about that either. We really don't want to hear that. But sometimes grief can be a messenger to, about what maybe we need more in our life. Maybe we need more love. Maybe we need more connection. Um, and I mean, that's my work as a therapist and a coach and consultant. So I work in workplaces as well. So how are our leaders connecting with their teams, with their employees? How are they connecting with the ecosystem that they're creating? Is it bringing the best out in people? Is it creating a place where people's central nervous systems are, you know, um, at a state that can be safe and functioning? Um, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, those ecosystems were symbiotic. So that's what's creating our experience. And that central nervous system, the brain, the motherboard in here is a computer and it stores a lot. It stores, I would say, everything, but I don't actually know that. Yes, I'm a mental health professional, but the more I know, the more I actually realize I don't know. There's so much science that is yet to be discovered. There's a lot of mystery in how the brain works, how the central nervous system works, all of that. But we do know a lot. We do know about fight, flight, freeze, and fawning. We know about all of those things. So as we learn more about those, we can recognize when we're in one of those states. And grief, staying on topic, right? Grief, if we're not tuning into it, that's why I kind of called this, inviting grief to sit down for tea to talk. You know, what is it that we need to learn about the grief? What stories have to be told? What value can we find in the experience that we're having so that, you know, we may take care of ourselves? Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. My work is to help people take care of their hearts. And, I mean the physical heart. Yes, the metaphorical heart, take care of your heart. Oh, how sweet. But not really. Like, yes, and, right? Like, yes, take care of your symbiotic heart, your metaphorical heart, but also take care of your physical heart because I'm pretty sure it's the number one killer is heart disease in men and women. And you know what I think about that is that a lot of us are brokenhearted. And yes, I know we're dying from heart conditions that are killing us, but also isn't it a bit ironic that most of us are going around with a broken heart, with the grief that's been unheard or unfelt because we're pretty busy numbing it. You know, a lot of us are busy numbing it because it hurts too much. We can't feel it. It's too great. It's too powerful because a lot of times that love was so great and so powerful too. And thinking about those that we've lost and keeping them in our hearts and our memories is how we keep them alive, I think. And so I could go on forever, so I have to be really careful that I don't do that. And what I said I was going to talk about today and my kid, I hope I'm still can I hope if I go off the screen I can still you can still see me, but I don't know if you can. I think you can still hear me, but you maybe can't see me, which is okay. Because I need to look up this um 5 gates of grief that I wanted to share. I'm just typing that in now. And I'm just going to I'm going to flip back and just ask if you can still see me, but I think that you can't. Can I ask, beautifully broken? Thank you for still being here. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. You're like my little cheerleader. Um, when I go off this live to go on to another, because I don't, can you still see me? I know that you can hear me because it's showing me the mic, but I just don't know if you can still see me. Okay. Oh, the joy of being live. Oh my goodness. No, it's your profile. Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm going to unplug and I'm going to be wild and spontaneous. Look, wild and spontaneous. I'm unplugging and I'm going to go over to my other computer because I want to look up what I actually said I was going to talk about today. My printer wouldn't work, so I couldn't do it. So you're going to get a little tour of my house is really messy, so I don't want anybody to actually see it. That's the thing about lives. You don't know what's going to happen. What is going to happen? You don't know. So, but we're just going to go with it because that's what I signed up to do. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's a poem that I read on my first podcast, and I didn't actually make the final cut. And it's what just came up on my computer screen. So I think I'm going to read you this poem because I think, and yeah, so I guess this is part of me showing up as myself because I want the people who like poetry to be here. I want the people who like story to be here. I like the people who want deep and real and authentic and not contrived or made up or any of that. Like I don't want any of the fake the the performance stuff, right? Like that's kind of the point of my new podcast, The Agentic Self. It's really for me. How can Patricia become a little more courageous and be a little more honest and just real, and all my imperfections, all the stuff I don't know. Like I said earlier, I feel like I know the more I feel like I know less. And that's for real. And that probably doesn't invite confidence in future customers and clients and things like that. But honestly, I'm not really looking for future customers and clients. This is actually a passion project about, and I admitted it today online too, because I think it's true. I think part of it is a bit of a trauma response, a little bit of vicarious trauma, right? You cannot listen to the stories in my work, right? I work in mental health and addiction. It is an honor and a privilege. I'm gonna get emotional to work with every single person I get to work with, and every story that I get to hear, because they are who have taught me to be the clinic. I'm getting shaky now. They are who taught me how to be a good clinician, not the books. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, the books are great. You got to know your science. You got to know your ethics. I got to train every year, like 40 hours of clinical, like a bunch of training, right? Every year. It's great. I love it. I love my work, but it ain't about the science and it ain't about the books. It's about the spirit. It's about the heart. It's about the love. It's about the connection. My work as a therapist, like that's the role I play. That's my profession. And I'm professional and I am evidence based, but it's my soul that shows up to session, right? And my brain. So it's the two things working together. And that's how we are able to recognize grief too. Coming back to grief is knowing, you know, when is your soul calling, saying, hey, there's something you need to attend to here. Something is coming up for you, right? That you need to attend to. And sometimes that comes in little whispers, it's a quiet call. And most of us are white knuckling, trying to get through the days, trying to get through the weeks, trying to get through our lives, trying to feed our families and have enough money in the bank account to buy groceries, right? Or whatever your situation is. Everyone's situation is different. And if we stepped out of this kind of program mentality of compare and despair, and we stopped comparing and looking out there, which is the point of my work, and held the mirror. Yes, lots of stuff needs to change. Lots is wrong, and there's injustices and all the horrors, 100%. And that's not what this is about. That's not what my podcast is about, or my work. My work is calling us in here, hearing the calls. So you got to turn the noise down of what's going on out there, right? Like the world is so noisy and terrifying, which is ends up constricting me. And that's why the podcast too, right? Because I don't want that. It's like a bit of an act of resistance. So we've got to, turn inward, right? And then when we go in, for me, what works for me is this idea of there's the observer, the part of you that knows, like, for example, if, say, you're trying to make better choices with eating and, you get up in the middle of the night and you go back to have that other piece of cheesecake in the fridge and, like, you're getting up and you're going and like you're moving towards the fridge, right? And you're going there. And I'm going to tell you the poem in a second. And you're going to the fridge and there's an observer noticing, oh, Patricia, is this in alignment with where you're trying to go? I see, you're what you're doing there. And then there's this other part of myself, the operator, that's just like, oh, I really want to go get that cheesecake. It was so good. It's so good. I'm just going to go up there and sneak in there and have it, right? So it's like there's two parts. The operator of this system that's going and doing the thing or avoiding pain, grief, stuff, because that's what we do. And then there's the observer that knows, maybe you need to take a breath right now. Maybe you need to slow down right now. It's like there's this battle going on all the time between the observer that knows truth, like I'm in pain right now, I'm in suffering, or I'm in fear, or I need something, and the operator who's like, frig that, just keep going, push that down, keep going, don't feel it, don't name it, don't talk about it, don't acknowledge it, and certainly don't tell anybody about it. I work with a lot of men. That's the last thing they want to do. They don't want to be a burden to their buddies, by a dollar for every time I heard that. It's heartbreaking because most of us, if we were to ask ourselves this question, when did I ever feel that somebody was a burden who came to me for support or just to be heard or be witnessed, or they've come to ask for help, whatever they have for those needs at the time? I don't see people as burdens. I see those as calls for connection, calls for love, right? So, operator, and observer. So we want to connect with both of them and we want to kind of integrate them. So the poem, back to what I originally started with before I went on this was supposed to be 20 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't even know how long I've been on now, but okay. So the poem, which aligns with kind of the grief theme, and you're going to know it because I feel like I don't ever offer anything new. I'm like, oh, everybody knows this poem and, but that's okay. That's my operator kind of telling me to be small, but the poem is called The Guest House. Do you know it? You might know it. I don't know. Okay. So it's called The Guest House. And I sort of see us as a house. I see me as an individual house amongst all the other houses. And I'm responsible for taking care of this house, right? Whether that's, the outside and the beautiful garden, or it's inside, what maintenance needs to be done. What might be living in the closets that needs to be cleaned out. Um, just different things like that, right? Just like metaphors help me make sense of my world. Metaphors help me make meaning. Poems help me make meaning, as do stories, hence the podcast, because my life didn't get better without story. Story is the one thing I believe that will change the world and your life. Because if we're not tuning in to the stories that we're cozying up to every day, if we're not tuning into what those stories are, which are creating our existence, our life, our experience, along with other things out there, but the stories that we're telling ourselves, like, nobody wants to hear this tonight. Nobody's really getting value from this live. She's going on and talking, and she said she wanted to have her value. She's going to read a poem, and she said that 10 minutes ago. She still hasn't read the poem, right? She talked about she's going to read the five gates of grief, and she hasn't. So, like, my operator is like kind of running in the background, saying all the smack to me all the time, right? But when I can quiet it down, I hear, the observer saying, "You're doing perfectly because you're showing up as yourself. And that's what you said you wanted to do, and you're doing it. So you don't get to kind of shame yourself for it not being perfect and saying, I want to be here and not be perfect. So okay, on to the poem, The Guest House by Rumi. This is your house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. My computer just shut off. See? Like, this is, yeah, thank you. I could start again because, like, I wanted it to be. Okay. The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for something, for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Rumi, The Guest House. So I guess, that metaphor, grief, allowing it to come in, invite it in if you know it's been knocking. Thank you. Answer the call. This is a house, and I always say the call's coming from inside the house. And my hope is that you, after this little live, I'm not going to go into the gates of grief. It took too long. I'm going to do that on the next live if people are interested. If you are interested in that, maybe make a note or send me a message, and I'll send it. I'll send you the next live, and we'll go over the gates of grief. But um, I just now I've lost my train of thought. I just I really do hope that this will invite you to yourself, into your own house. And listen to that call. It's like a quiet whisper. And I sent it to voicemail over and over and over again. I didn't want thank you so much. Thank you. um I hope that you will answer the call that's coming inside your own house, whether it be about grief, longing or loss, or fear, or a hope or a dream. The world is really, really loud right now, and it's getting louder. And I'm not a fear monger, and I don't sell fear. And I do believe it is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So this is your call to start practicing how to take care of myself so that I may show up for those that you love and those that you lead and those that you like, and maybe even those that you don't like, to still show up with some compassion and love and grace for them as you would wish for yourself on your darkest day. So if you showed up today, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was my first live on Substack. I'm hoping to do more and build a community of people looking to grow and connect and offer a little more love in the world. So I'm going to end it now. So peace and love from Nova Scotia. Thank you so much, Beautifully Broken, for being here with me. I really appreciate it. Okay. Bye.